Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For this week's DIY, I'm going to show you how to make some really cool chalkboard art to help decorate your room. So the materials you're going to need for this DIY is something you can paint, chalkboard paint, some chalk, pencil and scissors to help cut and make your design, your actual design, which we'll talk about a little later, and optional is a charcoal pencil and graphite paper. So the chalkboard paint I purchased for this DIY is the Craftsmart Multi-Surface Premium Chalkboard Acrylic Paint, and I picked this up at my local Michael's using one of my 50% off coupons. When purchasing chalk for this DIY, I recommend the Crayola chalk just because I've bought dollar store chalk and cheaper chalk before and I find it's not as good quality. And there are two optional items I recommend for this DIY. The first is a charcoal pencil. So charcoal pencils are great for doing really precise designs as it's a lot thinner and easier to maneuver than chalk is. So the pencil I actually picked up is one of the Primo charcoal pencils. I got it from Michael's in a section where I found I could buy them individually and they were only about $1 each. So here I'm trying to show you the difference between a charcoal pencil and what chalk does. So they actually look quite identical once it's on your chalkboard paint. But one thing I find is chalk smudges really easily and the charcoal pencil doesn't smudge as easily. And the next optional item that I use for my chalkboard art is graphite paper. So what graphite paper is it's basically a way of tracing a design instead of putting your design up on the window like we used to when we were kids. So all you do is put this charcoal surface between your design and the surface that you want it on, and then you just trace over it. So when you remove your design and the charcoal paper, your design will be there and it's a lot easier to color in. So you are now ready to get started with your DIY. So here I'm starting to paint my surface with the chalkboard paint. I recommend just doing down motions and not swooping back up over the spot you've already painted. I just find it lifts the paint up and it makes the coverage not as good. So the chalkboard paint I purchased recommends to wait an hour between each coat, and between this time it is really important that you're washing out your brush. So I also forgot to say in the materials that I recommend an actual paintbrush rather than a sponge brush for doing this DIY. I just find it a lot easier and washing the brush is a lot better as well because this paint is a lot thicker than normal paint. So during that hour of wait time, you can start to research ideas for your design. So I knew that I wanted to use this chalkboard to decorate my room at school, and at school I kind of have an Olaf theme going on. So I decided to Google Olaf chalkboard art to see what other people have created before to help get some inspiration. So once you find the one you want to replicate or a picture that you're going to trace, you just save it and then you paste it into an Excel document. So this actually took me a long time to find because you're using different size surfaces. Microsoft Word is really difficult to put your picture onto and size it to where you want. But if you also have Photoshop on your computer, that works great as well. So what I love about using Excel for printing out my designs is it prints it on multiple pages and then it's super easy to cut out, put the images together, and then tape them into one big item. So after an hour has passed, it is time to do your second coat. So when painting your second coat, I recommend painting the opposite direction of what you did before. So this I find fills in those empty lines, and when it dries, it makes it smooth and flawless. So the paint that I purchased recommends doing at least 2 coats. Obviously you can do more if you feel your surface needs it. And they also recommend waiting 24 hours after your last coat before doing your design. So these videos were taken a day after because I painted both my canvas that you can see I'm using here and my other wall decorative piece that I purchased. So here you can see I'm using my graphite paper to help transfer my design that I printed off the computer onto the canvas. So what I'm going to do is put the graphite paper down over the canvas, then use my stencil that I picked up, put it over, and then start to trace. So the chalkboard paint also recommends that you condition the surface that you painted with the chalkboard paint. So what this means is you take a piece of chalk and you rub it all over the surface, making sure all the black edges that you're going to cover get covered with the chalk. And then once this step is done, you just take a wet paper towel, wipe it all off, and then dry it, and you're ready to start your design. So once you've ensured your canvas or your surface is completely dry, it is ready to start doing your design. So it's really hard to see on camera, but I actually can see where I'm drawing based on where I used with the graphite paper. And I decided to start with the snowflakes and then work towards the letters. So if you accidentally smudge the charcoal pencil with your hand while you're doing your other designs, don't worry about it, because the charcoal is really easy to just wipe away with your finger and you won't be able to tell in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. Also, make sure to check me out on Instagram at DIYourChellef to see what videos I'll be doing next week. Bye!